Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Charles Renaud, and I'm going to be your host for this very first episode of the Making Yesterday Jealous podcast. Making Yesterday Jealous is something that's very near and dear to my heart. It's a mindset, it's a mentality that I've developed over the last 8 years, ever since going on my own personal physical transformation journey at the age of 16 and eliminating 65 pounds way back then, which seems like a long time ago, but it's not that far out. And it's just something, it's a message. I wanted to turn my mess into my message and to be able to communicate and to put this message out into the world and for others to be able to tap into that mentality and to build their best version of themselves. And I told myself it was enough and I could not hold back and I needed to put it out there. And what a better time than to start right now with episode 1, which I have decided is going to be titled Finding Your Why, because I genuinely fundamentally believe that it is the biggest thing we need to focus on when starting any kind of journey is to find our why, so we can just run through every obstacle that's going to be given and put in front of us. So without further ado, let's jump to episode 1, Finding Your Why. I'm going to start right from the get-go. I'm going to start straight off of the rip, because finding the why was something that I needed to implement while getting this podcast, getting these things set up and together. And once I understood that why, when I understood that, hey, I went through my own kind of shit. I went through my own nightmares. I went through my own dark times in my life as a human being, as an individual. And I was able to overcome that. And I was able to transmute and to get out of that situation and to really achieve the results that I really wanted to achieve. Well, then I understood that, hey, I need to become that guide for others. That was my why. That was my why for getting this camera set up. That was my why for figuring out all the tech stuff is something that I'm very passionate about. And to dive in deeper, that's sort of my why, which I'll get back to. But I want to help you find your why here in this episode, because if we don't have a why, it's going to be very, very difficult for us. And I've really helped clients transform, and once we were able to find and assess what was their why for being able for wanting to be able to achieve that transformation, once we found that why, they were able to get over any little hump, any little challenge that was in front of them. They ran through it like a freaking rhinoceros and just went straight through it. And they didn't look back. We all know that life happens, right? It's something that we can all agree on. We want this to be like sort of a fairy tale. And although it's beautiful, it's magical, and it really is, sometimes in our daily lives, there's going to be things that are going to come up. There needs to be a bigger reason as to why you do the things that you want to do. If we understand, right, I want to lay this foundation down and put it out in the first episode. I think it's very fundamental. It's part of the fundamentals of what this podcast is going to be built on, and to tie into that Making Yesterday Jealous mentality and that mindset, we need to understand that the principle is that we are a spiritual being having a physical body experience. You are a spirit within a body, not the other way around. Don't get it twisted. You're not a body having a spiritual experience. No, you are a spirit, a soul within a body having a physical experience. And if we understand that, we understand that we're tapped into something bigger than us. There's this universal power. Call it whatever name you want in 2023. But we're all tapped into that, because as long as you're breathing, we can keep moving, we can transform, we can change forms, and we can achieve the results, we can achieve the life that we want in this beautiful dance of abundance and in this magical place that we call Earth, right? But if we understand that we are a spiritual being, there's something, there's a voice, there's a message that is linked to doing the things that you feel called to doing. And that, if you've never heard of that, that is your dharma. And it's one of the books, it's one of my favorite books, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. Honestly, an all-time favorite book. Definitely should go give it a read if you haven't. If we take law number 7, which is the law of dharma, which means that every single one of you, every single one of us has a meaning, has a purpose to being on this earth. There's a reason, there's a calling that you're going to have within you to doing the exact things, igniting ikigai, right? Taking the Japanese, the 3 circles and putting them all together. That ideal little mix of your passion, what you feel called to do and what you're good at, when we mix those 3, that's what you need to be doing on a daily basis. And when you find that, if you don't know, then start asking yourself the question, And if you've already been asking yourself those questions, and you might have the answer, we need to go maybe a step further and to find that why. Because if you don't have that why, then it's going to be impossible for you to face that adversity, to overcome what it is you need to overcome when life throws its challenges at you and when things don't necessarily go the way that you planned for them to go on your journey. If you don't have that why, you're most likely going to quit. You're not going to stick that course, because the why is like that glue. It's that cement that holds it all together, and that makes it that if a nice little tornado is thrown at you, well, your foundation's solid enough that you're not moving, you're not getting out of the way. The tornado is going to come, you're going to take the hit, but you're going to keep pushing, you're going to keep moving along that road, and you're going to get to that result. You're going to make those actions daily, and you're going to get that result. But to find out why, I'm going to share with you this story as to how I found mine when I was 16. Because beforehand, I didn't really have an idea. I just loved playing hockey as a kid, but I didn't really have any understanding of who I was as a spirit, as a soul here on this earth. And when I went through that experience at 16, I was overweight, right, guys? I was overweight. It's probably one of the darkest times of my life, where I had to go through a lot of bullying, a lot of being called names, being shy, being afraid of sort of going to school some days because of just all the hate, all the hatred that you would receive on a day-to-day basis. And I found YouTube. And I found videos of Christian Guzman and all these things, and I was like, okay, I'm 285 pounds, and I could feel my conscience, right? My conscience was calling me for something bigger. The first step to finding my why was to understand that I was meant for a lot more. I knew I had it in me. I had that potential, and I knew that I could transform myself. And when I got that understanding, I was like, okay, right, I need that. That was like enough, but it wasn't enough for me to sort of get moving and to go on this journey of, okay, right, let me get rid of this weight. Let me eliminate it. Let me transform myself. So I kept asking that question of, why do I really want to lose this weight? Because if I just want to lose weight, I'm not going to stick that course. That's the biggest example. And that's how I was able to develop the Making Yesterday Jealous mindset. And the second one was, I was 16 years old, sort of hitting puberty, like in the peak of it, and your hormones are changing as a man, and then you sort of start looking at girls a different way. But I went through, I couldn't even tell you guys how many times I went through this look, right? Woman, if you're overweight, and you look at attractive woman, most of them, to be honest, in this world, by natural selection, they're going to want a guy that's fit, a guy that looks good. And I'm not going to get into that whole topic, but I understood that I need to become that version. I need to become the best version of me physically, and I knew that being overweight was not that version. So that's when I understood, okay, right, that was like sort of a bigger why, because women would just look at me, girls back in the day, they're just, I swear to God, if you're watching this on video, you understand, they look at you like this, they'll scan you all the way down, they'll look back up, and then when they've had that scan, they'll just roll their eyes at the end, like, sort of like, who the fuck is this guy? But I knew deep down, I knew that I was a great person. But the envelope, my physical body, might have just been wrapped in more energy, more weight, and that was limiting me in that factor. So that's when I understood I need to become the best version of myself. And I sort of used that motivating factor. It wasn't my why, but I used women as a motivating factor to become that best version of me. I wasn't doing it for them, but I understood that it would be a byproduct. It would be something that would happen, that I could get their interest, changing my physical body just through their eyes. And honestly, I went to work and I knew that it was gonna pay off. But I used it as a motivating factor. That was the second thing. And the third thing where I could really hit it home, right? Just like baseball. 3 strikes, you're out. Now, it wasn't strikes, but 3 strikes at bat. The third one, that's really where it struck. And I really found my why is back in the day, 8 years ago, gym memberships, at least from where I'm from in Montreal, the gyms didn't want to put their prices online. So they wanted to get you in person and get you to go and to talk to somebody at the front desk and for them to do their whole sales pitch on you, right? Which makes sense. Not normal procedure. Nowadays, it's online. But when I was 16, I didn't have a job yet. Just legality, whatever. Won't get into that. But I didn't have a job yet. I barely had any money except like little odd jobs. I would work with my dad, cutting grass for the neighbors, that kind of stuff. But it wasn't enough to pay like for the only gym in the area. There's like $70 a month. And so I kept bugging my mom. I told you the price, but I kept bugging my mom, like, Mom, can we go to the gym? And, you know, parents, they're busy. They got their schedule. And not that my mom didn't want to, but maybe at that time the financial situation wasn't the best. And so one day I was out with school. We were snowboarding, and I just fell on a patch of ice, and I fell on my face, and my goggles broke because I hit my head pretty hard. My goggles broke and scratched me literally from left to right on my face. And so I wasn't too far from home, maybe 15, 20 minutes away. But I called my mom. I needed to be picked up. I couldn't really stay on the hill for that day. And that's when I thought to my mom, hey, Mom, the gym is on the way home. Could we please stop, just see what it is? And it was like this weird coincidence, like the stars were aligning, and this really serendipitous event that happened because when I walked into the gym, my grandma was right over on the other side of the counter. And it was like this weird thing because my mom, to this day, hey, I'm not asking for how it happened. I'm not questioning. I'm just very thankful that to this day it happened. My grandma was on the other side of the counter, and she had paid, and she had bought me, and she had invested in me for a 3-month gym membership. And that is at that point, guys, I swear to fucking God, it is at that point that I understood that I needed to go after that. That was my why. I could not let my grandma down. She was counting on me, not in a real actual sense, right? She just wanted to make me happy. She knew how much I wanted that. She probably heard me speak about it multiple times when we went out to dinner or just had a conversation with each other. And she just showed up at the gym and she bought me this membership. And it is at that moment, that exact moment when I saw over the counter. And hey, I got you a 3-month membership. I was like, fuck this. I'm giving it all I got. And I cannot let her down. Because at every point before, I didn't have a why. So I would start, I maybe try to do a few push-ups, which I couldn't fucking do because I was 65 pounds overweight. I tried hopping on the treadmill. Nothing would work. Why? Because I didn't have a why. It's that fucking simple. And I'm speaking from experience, telling you that it's so vividly important to find your why. Because without it, you're going to start, you're going to stop. You're going to start, you're going to stop. You're literally going to be a broken record to everybody once. But if you find that why, let me tell you, once I found my why, and I knew that my why was to not let my grandma down. I tied it together with knowing that deep down I could achieve the results that I wanted to, the results that I saw with my eyes closed of the person, the man that I could become. Tying that to, hey, I was starting to have an interest in women. I wanted them to pay attention. So I was going to use that as a motivating factor to push myself and use that as sort of a pre-workout to moving and getting into the gym and to motivating myself. And then tying that little bow tie, the third strike at bat, boom, hitting it with my grandma invest in me. And that was my why, because I could not have the guts to tell her that she did that for me and for me to let her down. So at that point, I remember every night giving it all I had every single day. I didn't know much. I was 16 years old. I found, Google, YouTube. I had to be resourceful. I didn't know what I was going to do. But, and let me tell you, the amount of hours that I watched for videos on bodybuilding, on how to count macros, on how to do all the things to lower my body weight and to start building that muscle mass, that's when I found my why. It went from my grandma motivating me, investing in me, and giving me this opportunity, purchasing this opportunity for me, that then led me to my why, to understand that, I was lucky enough to find my reason, my purpose, my burning desire, something that I'm so fucking passionate about. I think about this all day long. I could talk with any of you guys for hours on multiple topics in a very kid-like energy, in a very childlike energy where I'm so passionate, I'm so happy, I'm so enthusiastic every single day. And to this day, it has led me down this road to finding my why, meaning I understood that I was very lucky to be able to get myself out of that situation of being not confident, of being uncomfortable in my own body, of being afraid to take my shirt off in social situations, and transforming myself and eliminating that way, which is going to be a topic in another video. Let's just stay tuned, dropping little hints right here for you guys. But it was really, I understood at that moment, finding my why, that I was a gladiator in that fight. I became a warrior in that time to understand that I got myself out of it, and it was now my duty. It was my mission. It was my purpose on this earth to go out and to deliver this message to other individuals, to be able to pull them out of that nightmare, or out of that dark situation of finding themselves in their physical body, being overweight and not being confident, not loving themselves fully. Because listen, guys, we only get a certain limited amount of time on this earth, and time is way too fucking precious to be wasting it in those low level negative emotions, negative vibrations. And it is possible, let me tell you, if I'm able to do it, you could do it as well. But there's a blueprint. There's actions that you need to take that are going to build the habits that are going to make you create that new identity of the man that you want to be, that you're going to admire so fucking much. And right now, it's okay. Nobody's taught you any better. And if you're on that journey, well then, brother, I am proud of you. Let me tell you that right now. I know it's not easy, and it won't be easy. But trust me, if you have that why, if we're able to identify why that is, why do you feel called to do what it is? Start asking yourself questions on a daily basis. Hey, Einstein said, if you ask the question is not going to be on the same frequency as the answer. But by law of polarity, I'm going to teach a lot on the laws of this universe because I've been a student of those ever since I transformed myself physically. I invested in a mentor. It cost me 9,000 American dollars when I was 21. And it's something I'm truly passionate about, something I'm truly proud to understand these laws. And I think it's very important. I want to spread this message. I want to share those insights. I want to share that knowledge with you guys. And to get back to the law of polarity, if you ask the question, the answer has to show up, because you can't have an up without a down and a left without a right. In this three-dimensional universe, it's just physically not possible. But like Einstein said, one of the things that I found was that you're not able to receive the answer to the question that you seek on the same frequency of the question when it was asked. So what do we do by then? We ask the question, what is my why? Your conscious is going to bring you into why you feel called to do what it is you do. That burning desire, that dharma, you were put on this earth to fulfill that potential, to fulfill that mission. That's why you're here. And you're part of this creation, which is beautiful. And that creation needs you to pursue that dream, to pursue that goal, to pursue that reason as to why you feel called to do what it is that you feel on the inside of yourself. And then by asking yourself the question, why do I feel like I want to do it? What's my why? You take that question and you just start feeling good, and you just let yourself flow down that river, and you let that great energy fill your body, and you let it go. You drop it. You don't think about it too hard, because then your physical mind is going to try to get in the way. You're going to try to find logical reason, and it's just not going to work. You let it go. You let your higher mind, your conscience, and your subconscious mind, you let your subconscious mind work for you while you're doing everything else, because everything's already worked out. Everything's already worked out. Know that. Sit in that faith. Sit in that belief. And that why is going to come to you if you haven't found it. And if you have found your why, then why the fuck are you acting on that every single day if you're questioning yourself and you're doubting yourself right now? You have it. You have that message. Why aren't you spreading it? What are you doing? Like, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and let you be that low-level version of who it is that you are. No, we're not about this on here. We're not about this. So we're going to take that. We're going to understand it. First of all, if we don't have a why, we're going to find it. If we found it, for the second step, if we found our why, we're going to take action on our why every single day. And the third step that we're going to do is to piece those two together and to make sure that every single day we're making yesterday jealous to become the best version of the man that we could possibly be with our limited amount of time that we are on this earth. I was 16 years old. I dropped 65 pounds. I never looked back. I never touched that weight ever again. Because of why? Because that why. When I wanted to go binge eat in that fucking cabinet, well, I didn't. Because who? My grandma was counting on me. When I didn't want to go work out, did I go to the gym that night and almost failed my classes in 10th grade of high school? Yep. Why? Because that was bigger for me. I knew I had that calling within. And I'm not telling you to be irresponsible and to be stupid. But I knew that I could get by on the rest to go out and do and give everything I had to that. And it's something that I've never looked back on. And I think it's so fundamentally important to find that why, to be able to withstand the challenges that life is going to be throwing at you in that journey that we're all on. And finding that why, it'll light yourself on fire. It'll light your soul on fire. You'll feel more energy. It sounds counterintuitive. I know we all want to, I don't feel good now. Let go of that. Let go of that. You deserve, and you're meant for so much more. That you're holding yourself back out of fear of maybe a failure, out of fear of success, out of fear of looking some certain way for your friends, out of fear of being judged. Well, hey, all those fears that you fear within, you can go and conquer them. But this all starts with finding your why. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah, I'm getting amped up. I'm getting pumped up. I'm feeling that energy. I'm feeling good. But just know that you have what it takes to find your why and to follow that calling and to follow that mission that you were put on this three-dimensional earth to come and to execute and to fulfill and to help the collective elevate the consciousness and to become the best version of who you were designed to be. And you're already perfect. Don't try to put the paintbrush on what God did. You're perfect. You're here. Everything's beautiful. We just need you to find your why. And if you have found your why, we need you to take action on that very why and to go and commit to daily action, daily massive action. If you understood what 6 months of hard work can do in your life to get after it, trust me, you would never look back. You would start today, you take daily massive action today, and you would never look back. Because why? Because time is limited, and you deserve to be making yesterday jealous every single day. And it's a simple question. It's a simple mindset. It's a simple thing that you could ask yourself on a daily basis. Did I make yesterday jealous today? If you answered yes, then you could put your head on your pillow at night knowing you did everything in your power that day. Everything that could be done was done. And if you answered no, well then what the fuck did we do? Why did we not do it? Go and ask yourself, and always be auto-evaluating yourself and question every single decision, because there's a program running within you. And we want to get to that program, and we want to program the absolute best program within you to be able to achieve the version of who it is that you want to be and the version that you deserve to be and that we all need you to be. It's that time. It's 2023. Let's go and be the absolute best version of ourselves, finding our whys, executing on our missions, and to become the man that we need you to be so that the world becomes a better place. It is that time. Before I get carried away, I'm going to end the episode right here. I want to thank you for taking the time. It's been a pleasure listening. This is something new for me. Grabbing the mic, grabbing the camera. Hey, it's just going to get on, getting better and better. And I'm truly passionate about this. It feels like my highest excitement. So we're going to rock and roll. And I'm very thankful for you taking the time, watching or listening to this in whatever form you were able to digest it. It's only the first episode, Finding Your Why, on the Making Yesterday Jealous podcast. I was your host, Charles Renaud. I'm very thankful for you guys for sticking around. If you have enjoyed, like the video, like the podcast. Hey, if it resonated with you and somebody that you know in your inner circle, your outer circle might need this message, send it their way. Share it on your feed. Share this message. The world needs it right now. And I'll show up. You have my word. You have my promise that I will show up and keep delivering these messages for you guys to become the best version of yourselves. It's been a pleasure. And as always, folks, let's keep making yesterday jealous.